The Drake Maye era has arrived, with the rookie's introduction to the starting lineup giving fans exactly what they were waiting for. He has breathed new life into a team that was completely lost and lacking any level of excitement. While a Week 8 win over the Jets may not be the pinnacle that Patriots fans are accustomed to, Maye's arrival and early starts have absolutely done enough to suggest that the future is much brighter moving forward. The question is though, can he become the best rookie quarterback of his class? Drake Maye spent much of the pre-draft process widely regarded as the second highest rated quarterback in the 2024 draft class. He was eventually pushed down by the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback and much more experienced Jaden Daniels, who is the current frontrunner for the Offensive Rookie of the Year award over in Washington, but Patriots fans shouldn't feel too disappointed about having to settle for Maye though. As I said, he was considered the next best option behind generational prospect Caleb Williams for a long time leading up to the draft, and some analysts even had him ranked ahead of him. One of the knocks that Drake Maye does have is just his lack of experience with only starting 2 seasons in college football. However, in those 2 years, he was the most productive quarterback in North Carolina University history, passing for 7,929 yards, 62 touchdowns, and 16 interceptions, in addition to rushing for 1,147 yards and 16 touchdowns on the ground. His 5,019 yards of total offense in 2022 set a new school record, and his 4,057 yards of total offense in 2023 ranked second, combining for 9,076 total yards. Across those 2 seasons, no other FBS quarterback amassed over 9,000 yards of total offense. It was a seriously impressive effort, making him an easy pick for the New England Patriots at 3rd overall. And at the time of the 2024 draft too, New England was desperately in need of an answer at quarterback, having failed miserably at replacing the great Tom Brady. Mac Jones, Cam Newton, and Bailey Zappi all tried and failed to fill in for the Hall of Famer, but nobody was up to scratch. Mac Jones did come the closest after actually having a pretty impressive rookie year, but the departure of offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels kind of triggered his downfall. Personally, for me, I think it was because they tried to bring in Matt Patricia, who is more of a defensive-minded head coach, and then even after that, they went to a special teams coordinator who really didn't fit with Mac Jones's kind of style of play or just really trying to develop him as a player. And it should come as no surprise that Mac Jones rapidly declined, leading to the quarterback chaos in the situation that New England finds itself in today. The 3rd overall pick in 2024, in a year where the quarterback class was incredibly deep, provided the perfect opportunity for the Patriots to find their answer to the problem. And that answer was Drake Maye, known for his strong arm and physical scrambling ability. And would that by chance remind you of anybody else in this division? Maye has prototypical quarterback size and can fire the ball to all pockets of the field and from all sorts of different platforms. He is at his best when creating a play out of nothing and has the strength to shed defenders to avoid sacks. And when he gets on the run, he can quickly pick up yards and is not easy to take down. Honestly, coming into the league, the only negatives that he did have were, as I said earlier, his experience, and at times just kind of wasn't the greatest decision maker either. And due to that too, the Patriots kind of took the safe route and they sat him for the beginning of the early part of the season. Not only those 2 things factor as well, but he did kind of struggle with a lot of footwork and was definitely a big talking point coming into the draft. So they were trying to kind of fine tune that as well. And really we saw a lot of that in the preseason too, of him really just missing easy layup throws and had to get corrected before he even got a start. And now look, like any rookie, Drake Maye is he's very raw. He's a very raw talent right now. But the kid is just 22 years old, and that's plenty of time to learn not only the NFL, but just the system that he's in and improve on those things that he needs to improve on. So with that in mind, the Patriots decided to play it slow with their new quarterback. He did get some playing time in the preseason and flashed some reasons for fans to be excited, but Jacoby Brissett was named the starter, giving Maye some time to ease into the season on the sidelines and benefit from a few more weeks of practice before being exposed to the NFL gridiron. The other factor in leaving Maye on the sideline was the Patriots' brutal opening stretch facing off against Cincinnati, Seattle, the New York Jets, San Francisco, and Miami, who all have very talented defenses, or at least that was the perception during the preseason. And while Jacoby Brissett was the starter, he was solid in that starting role, but far from spectacular. And look, blatantly, whoever was going to start for New England was going to be hamstrung by a poor offensive line and a lack of talented playmakers, resulting in Brissett not passing for over 170 yards in each of his first 5 starts. This did include a shock victory over the Bengals in week 1, but otherwise, the Patriots were very hard to watch. A 1-5 record plus an average of 12.4 points per game with 2 touchdowns and 1 interception thrown is not going to help sell tickets, which meant in week 6, it was time for the rookie. The decision to start Drake Maye sparked a fair amount of debate, with plenty arguing that he should simply sit the entire year and not risk being damaged in this woeful offense.
One, their offensive line is the worst pass blocking offensive line in the NFL. Right now, it is the worst. Jacoby Brissett, who has been their starting quarterback, listen to this. He has been pressured on 47% of his drop back passes. That 47% is the highest number for a quarterback since 2006. You want to take a rookie quarterback and set him up to struggle, put him behind this New England offensive line. On top of that, it's a bottom probably 5 or 6 group wide receiver wise when it comes to getting open. Okay, so you guys know me. There's a couple things I always say. Young quarterbacks need to go play well and survive. They need to have a really good scheme and play caller. Alex Van Pelt, I like his scheme. There's been moments when he's shown to be a good play caller. Still unknown. Really good offensive line, really good skill players. Again, New England has at least 2 of those 3 missing. This is not the right choice.
And I mean, all those things that were said are good points, but I mean, in doing so, they did really risk Drake Maye's not production, but more so just him having his confidence maybe deteriorated a little bit and just not being able to trust his offensive line. And on top of that too, I think the biggest thing is the possibility of building bad habits. Of course, the other side of this argument that I agree with much more, and I think why he should be playing still to this day and for the remainder of the season is, well, he's employed to play football, and if he's so young and not used to playing at this speed of the game, how else is he going to learn this speed of the game by then not playing in it? Yes, I get they don't have the best offensive line and the best receivers and things like that, but he needs to kind of see how the NFL game is played to really understand how to play it. And then, I mean, when you factor in the restless fan base as well, then, I mean, it's pretty much a no-brainer that you have to start the kid. Drake Maye made his first professional start at home against the Houston Texans, which was far from ideal introduction to the NFL, especially on a year that Houston has a top 10 pressure rate of 24.4%, leading to the 3rd most sacks with 27. Not only that too, but the reigning defensive rookie of the year, Will Anderson Jr., has picked up right where he left off, notching 7.5 sacks so far, and has been joined by another edge rushing menace in Danielle Hunter, who has 5 sacks. They're one of the best edge rushing duos in the NFL, operating under one of the best defensive minds in the NFL under DeMeco Ryans. Considering Drake Maye had a banged up and untalented offensive line to deal with, it was a brutal matchup to open his career with, and it got off to a disastrous start. On just the 3rd pass attempt of the day, Drake Maye airmailed his receiver straight into the arms of a Texans defender. Thankfully though, the Texans didn't capitalize on that mistake, meaning no damage was done and Maye could reset and restart. He did find his groove on the next drive though, rumbling up the middle for a 1st down conversion before keeping the drive alive with a couple of shorter completions. There were a couple of close calls that followed and a couple of big hits, with Will Anderson Jr. feasting on 2 sacks in the first half, but in the dying stages of the second quarter, Maye injected some energy into the stadium.
He does across the 40-yard line. 2nd and 3 at the Houston 40. Maye in the gun, one back hasty. Here's the snap. Maye dropping back deeper after taking it. Guns long down the right side. Caught, touchdown.
It was Maye's first touchdown pass as a pro, and it was a beauty, teasing fans with the excitement of what might be to come from this guy. I mean, honestly, it was just a very rare explosive play for the Patriots, and it had only come in the 2nd drive of the rookie's Patriots career. I mean, the throw was just beautifully dropped into the bucket, and really just the aggressiveness and just brilliance to see him go after Devin Singletary in one-on-one coverage was just perfect in what you want to see out of the rookie. And I mean, it was officially safe to say that the Drake Maye journey was underway. From that point onwards, you could tell that Maye was much more comfortable, even though he started the second half by taking a brutal hit from Danielle Hunter, in which he did fumble the ball. Nevertheless though, Maye was using his feet to buy time and find receivers to keep the chains moving, and his second and third touchdown passes followed soon after. The Patriots did lose the game by 41 points to 21, but results are more or less irrelevant for New England this year. All that matters is their quarterback stays healthy and does develop, and he finished up his debut with a very respectable 243 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interception box score, which is impressive considering the quality of the defense. And I mean, for context too, Caleb Williams could only manage 274 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions against the same defense, but with a much more talented group of playmakers to utilize. Like, I mean, Drake Maye had officially arrived and in one game had thrown for more passing touchdowns than Jacoby Brissett had done all year long, while also surpassing Brissett's highest single game passing yardage mark on the season. And I mean, to make things even sweeter for Maye, his final box score made him the first quarterback since 1950 to throw for 3 or more touchdowns and also lead the team in rushing in their first career start. Obviously, Maye had done more than enough to retain the starting role, so now he turned his attention to Jacksonville, where he would be waiting for them in London. And I mean, despite it being his second professional start, and especially his first one across the pond as well in New England, it really didn't faze him that day at all. He got going early by hitting Douglas on a nice crossing route to build some confidence before driving the Patriots all the way down the field and throwing a touchdown pass to Hasty for the first score of the day. Then on the next drive, he showed off his other special skill set, feeling the pocket, closing around him, and taking off upfield for a 15-yard run to pick up the first down. Maye opened up his account by completing 12 of his first 15 passes, with tight end Hunter Henry being his favorite target, bringing in 8 receptions for 92 yards in total. Maye was looking sharp in the pocket, patiently working his way through his reads and not panicking whenever the pocket did close in. Watching that game too, numerous times he moved around in the pocket to buy time and slot his passes into small windows to keep the drives going. It was even more incredibly promising to see that he was rewarded by throwing his second touchdown on a lovely 22-yard strike to KJ Osborne in the end zone. And now, yes, once again, the Patriots were defeated convincingly by 32 to 16 points, but New England fans will be more focused on the performance of their quarterback in his second start. Maye was cool, calm, and composed, absolutely flashing the potential he does have to produce explosive plays when necessary. And with New England due to land a high pick in the upcoming draft, we should absolutely expect them to bolster their offense to protect him better and provide him with some playmakers. And if they can make the right personnel choices, Drake Maye definitely has the potential to be the best quarterback to emerge from the loaded 2024 draft class. Remember, Drake Maye is literally breaking records in this abysmal offense. That's as crazy as that sounds. He is breaking records in this offense. In his debut, he became the first quarterback since 1950 to throw for 3 or more touchdowns and also lead the team in rushing in their first career start. And his impressive second outing also broke a record. This time he joined Hall of Famer Dan Marino as the only other quarterback with 500 passing yards and at least 5 touchdown passes in their first 2 starts since 1950. Unfortunately, he didn't get the opportunity to break more records in his third game against the Jets because he did have to leave early with a concussion, but not before showing off his speed to run in a touchdown. In the end, the team did win 25 points to 22, meaning he still made a crucial impact on that game. And now, yes, this season might be a lost cause from a record perspective for New England, but they can take immense joy in Maye's performances so far. Yes, it is only early, but he has looked really promising, breaking records, slinging deep passes, and picking up key yards with his legs. He's playing at a high level, and his performances are only going to get better with experience and as the final roster improves around him. It really does look like the New England Patriots have finally found their Tom Brady replacement and potentially the best quarterback from what's going to be a famous 2024 draft class.